Hi everyone, how's it going today? In today's tip I thought I'd throw a sort of a lick stroke little tip lesson really at you using a sixths or an interval known as a sixths. We're working the key of G major again, so you can incorporate this to the other licks that I've shown you in the key of G major. And this one using the sixths could sound something like this in the key of G. Okay, so those sort of intervals in the middle parts, these sort of bits, these are using the interval known as a sixths. So what I'll do is I'll ascend up the scale in G major, I'll give you the sort of positions for this, and then you can sort of incorporate this and come up with some sort of innovative ideas here, or some creative ideas using the sixths. So we're sort of based around this shape really in terms of your starting position from a root 6 movable E shape. So that's going to be the starting position here really if you want to change keys, for example, to the key of A and have your first lick. That could be moving it to the key of A major. So you can start it wherever there's a movable E shape, in other words. So this entire action for today is going to occur just on the first and third strings. Now obviously we use six in other areas, but predominantly for the sort of licks that you hear, they're generally on the first and the third strings. So the first position for this, and everything's going to be on the first and third, so all the references, first and third strings only. The first shape is going to be the shape I'll refer to as a diagonal shape, which means your first finger will be on the third fret of the first, and your second finger will be on the fourth fret of the third. And now we're going to pick the third string followed by the first string. Now I'm going to take this shape and go to the next shape, which is I call the side-by-side shape. So for that shape I'm using my middle two fingers, second and third fingers. I've got my second finger on the fifth fret of the third, and my third finger is on the fifth fret of the first. So do the same picking pattern, third string, first string. Or you could do third, first, third. Really whatever you want to do, that's just the position. In the next position, move that side by side shape up 2 frets, so we're up at the 7th. So far we've got next shape, we're back to the diagonal shape, so your second finger is on the 9th fret of the third, first finger is on the 8th fret of the first. Take the diagonal shape up 2 frets, so you're at the 10th and 11th frets. Now back to the side-by-side shape on the 12th fret. Go up 2 frets with that side-by-side shape. And then you're back to the octave, which is where you started, in other words, where you're at the 15th and 16th frets. So we can come down, 15, 16, 14, 12, 10 and 11, 8 and 9, 7, 5, 3 and 4. So there's only 2 shapes there using the sort of the diagonal shape, if you like, and the side-by-side shape. Now I'm choosing to pick that using a technique called hybrid picking, where I'll pick the third string with the plectrum and then I'll pluck the first string with my middle finger. So I've sort of got like a pick, pluck, pick, pluck. Some people refer it to as hybrid picking, others call it chicken picking. I think chicken picking sounds kind of cool. So let's just go over to the right hand and I'll show you how I'm picking that with my middle finger, going up that sort of lick again. Okay, I'm just going to run up the G major scale using sixths, and you can see that how my pick and middle finger are working if you want to try this sort of hybrid picking stroke chicken picking technique, because I think it's far easier to do, because otherwise you have to keep string skipping with the pick, which means picking third string, first string, third string, first string. And it leaves a little bit of room for error there because you've got your second string that you could catch accidentally with your pick. So I think it's easier for me personally to do this chicken picking thing where you're picking, plucking, just like that, pick, pluck. Say that very carefully. So let me run up the scale and I'll do it nice and slowly so you can see the pick and then the middle finger. So here we go. And down. So there you saw me doing the pick and the pluck, and also what I call the pinch, where you're picking and using the middle finger together. So you either get that pinching, and then also the where you're pick, pluck, pick, pluck, pick, pluck. Okay, so that's all my right hand is doing with this lick. Let's just go back to the fretboard view, and I'll show you some ideas of how you could sort of put some variations to it. Okay, in this little section I just want to give you some ideas and point you in the right direction here for some uses of sixths, or some applications, so you can start hearing these things in tunes and going out and sort of ripping them off, which is what it's all about. So the first sort of example I want to give you is out of a sort of a Beatles tune, The Ballad of John and Yoko, where there's a cool little descending sixth figure. I think it's over the B chord and the A chord, as memory serves. So over the B chord it would be something like, over the A chord, it'll be. So if we rip that lick off and stick it into the key that we're working with today, which is the key of G major, our sort of figured lick would be. So all I'm doing there is using the 3rd fret as my sort of root location, or my home base location. I'm going up 4 frets from 3rd up to 7th, and again only on the same strings, 1st and 3rd strings, pinching, dropping down 1 fret, dropping down 1 more fret, and then going to the diagonal shape, which is sort of from our G major shape. Yeah, so we've got that pinch, 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 and pinch diagonal. Yeah, so there's an example of something like there you could rip that out of. You can also get this same sort of feel using the sixths, which is a very much of a bluesy sort of example. Now, using those exact same positions as what we just did, you could turn it more bluesy. And if I rip a lick off from the key of E, which is generally where you learn this lick, so that lick that you've heard 1,000 times at the end of sort of a blues 12 bar is again based around the E shape here, and we're going up 4 frets from the nut, in other words. So I'm starting up at the 4th fret and going down chromatically, just like we did before, only I'm not pinching this one, I'm doing the pick, pluck, pick. So it's sort of like 3rd string, 1st string, 3rd string. Now transposing that to our key that we're working with today again, go from the open string up 4 frets, and that was our starting position. So if we're working in the key of G, still using the movable E shape here, we can go from our 3rd fret up to our 7th, which is going up 4 frets, and then playing that same lick, going down chromatically. It's always nice to finish that off with some thirds, but that's for another day. So what we've got there is 7th fret, 6th, 5th, 3rd and 4th to finish off, and then you get your little sort of turnaround beat. You could either have the, or something I often like to do, something like that, which is going up to the D9 or the D7 chord, whichever you want to work. But we're getting ahead of ourselves, we're just sticking with the 6ths. So just try and throw those things in. That's a cool little... So, hope you have fun with these, hope you can find some uses for these things. 6 really do give us sort of a cool little flavour to mess around in. And again, the favourite, probably most famous one, is definitely that, which is that sort of good old blues turnaround. So listen out for that, and I might do some lessons later on turnarounds for 12 bar blues, because that's always good fun. So, hope you enjoyed this, take care, all the best.